The refusal to seize a crown decided whether the American Revolution would produce a republic or a disguised monarchy. If George Washington had accepted permanent power, the fragile experiment in popular government would have been fatally compromised, and the new nation would have faced civil rupture. He stood in the wake of a continent-wide war. It was 1783. The army was camped and unpaid, and the Continental Congress was weak and nearing collapse. He had spent years commanding men who trusted him with their lives. He felt immense pressure from officers and from men in Congress who wanted stability at almost any cost. The Newburgh crisis had shown how close the army came to using force to secure its grievances. Washington saw the danger of military rule taking the place of fragile civil authority. He knew what his standing could buy him. Power courted him as a simple solution to disorder and debt. He rejected that route because accepting would make him the problem rather than its cure. He chose a public resignation of military command. He traveled to Annapolis and formally handed his commission back to civilian leaders. He wanted to show that military power would submit to law. He did not make this choice purely from abstract principle. He wanted his name to stand for restraint and honor, and he feared the cost to the Republic and to his own legacy if he became a ruler. He preferred the status of a retired gentleman to the taint of a crown. His resignation changed the terms of political argument. Giving up formal power transformed private strength into public trust, and made it much harder for any faction to argue he should lead by force. The act aligned his reputation with the new institutions rather than with the army. He then faced further demands to stay in power when the country remained unstable and the Articles of Confederation proved inadequate. He accepted the presidency under a radically different logic and kingship. He saw a constitutional role as a way to protect the republic he had helped win. Power returned in a controlled and law-bound form. The cost of the alternative was clear to him and to others. A military takeover would have eroded representative institutions, provoked resistance from state elites, and risked violent struggle among veterans and civilians. The human toll and institutional damage of converting a general into a monarch made restraint the safer choice for most leaders. Once he had resigned and then accepted a limited executive office, norms hardened around civilian rule and rotation in power. His refusal to seize eternal rule made subsequent voluntary relinquishments intelligible and expected. What began as an individual act became structural. His final decision felt inevitable because his interests, fears, and reputation all pointed the same way. He valued honor and order, feared the corruptions of permanent power, wanted to preserve social standing without dictatorship, and recognized that the long-term survival of the nation required institutions stronger than any single man. Washington turned personal authority into public confidence. That decision defined the republic he left behind. Subscribe for more historical videos.